Hey, it's Lou Larson. I was gonna do a guitar lesson today. This is for my student Jeff, and it's Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd. I was gonna break it down a little bit, show you a great way to approach the song and some ways to simplify it. First thing I want to mention is that the song on the recording is actually tuned a half step lower than standard tuning. So if you want to play along with the recording, you need to tune your guitar to E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. Now my guitar is tuned in standard tuning. What I did was I took the CD that had Simple Man on it and I converted the song to an MP3, and then I took it into some recording software and I raised the pitch up a half step. So whenever we play it along with it in class, we use standard tuning. That way we don't have to retune. I frequently will do that, so whenever people come in to guitar lessons, we can play multiple songs without constantly having to retune. So Simple Man, it sounds like this. Let's see if I can play it. That is the main part. I'm going to call that the A section, and that's the part where the verse happens. And so the first step before you jump into playing that, whenever you play these chords like that, so if you notice, I'm picking out notes from the chords individually. That's called arpeggiating the chords. So if you play the chord, all the notes at the same time, that's a chord. If you play individual strings, we call that arpeggiating. What individual notes from the chord is arpeggiating. And that's what happens in the rhythm guitar part where the singing is happening in Simple Man for the verse. So before we start doing the arpeggiated chord patterns, that we need to, very first step is to make sure that we can play the chords, and then we're going to work on the transition between the chords, and then eventually work our way up to arpeggiating the chords. So the first section of this song has, I think of it as 3 chords. So there's a C chord, there's a G chord, then there's an A minor, and sometimes they play this on the first string, they play this G note, which turns the A minor into an A minor 7. And so I have an exercise that I put together for my class. I call this Simple Man Simple. That's what I call it. And you'll notice at the top I have the chords tabbed out or in chord grid form, and then I have some guitar tab for an exercise. We're going to work on this exercise to develop the skill to be able to play the entire song. So that each one of these chords has an approach, and we call that, it's called a pickup note, because if you'll notice that the C chord happens on beat 1. So if I leave off the pickup note and I just strum the chords, I would get something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. A minor. 2, 3, 4. A minor 7. 2, 3, 4. I think that's a little slow, But now watch what I'm going to do. In the C chord, the root note of this chord is the C on string 5, fret 3. And so this, on beat 1, I'm going to play this. So before I get to beat 1, I'm going to do this little introduction. And I heard a great story that helped to explain how pickup notes work. It was about the song This Land Is Your Land. I think that's by Woody Guthrie. And the song This Land Is Your Land, he says, this land, and the land, it needs to fall on beat 1 because the song is about the land. So that's where the emphasis is. Part of the way that music works is that the first beat of every measure always has the highest level of enthusiasm. So if we were counting and it was in 4/4, we would think of beat 1 being the loudest beat. Beat 2 is a little quieter. Beat 3 is a little bit louder than 2, but not quite as loud as beat 1. Beat 4 is the quietest. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want this land, because the land is the important part. You wouldn't want this land. This is not the important part. So the important part in this song is this C note. But we don't want to just start right out. We want to get a little introduction to it. So we're going to, on the string 5, we're going to go string 5 open, 2nd fret of string 5. Then we're going to play the root note, C, which is string 5, fret 3. And we'll put the rest of my fingers down into a basic C chord shape and strum. So for the C chord, I have this 0, 2, 3, which is the root note. The rest of this chord. Great. The next chord in the song is a G. The G also has a little bit of an approach to it, and it's coming out of the C. So we already have our C chord down, and we're going to start on this note, and then we're going to go right into this. That's a G chord. So I go string 5, fret 3, string 5, fret 2, then I play string 6, fret 3, which is the G root note of the G chord. So I play that, and then I strum the rest of the chord. So I have my C chord, G. Now, there's 2 chords left. There are A minor and A minor 7, and there's also some approach notes leading up to that. So the measure that had the G in it, on the last beat, I'm going to go. So I have my G chord down already, and I'm just going to play the 2 lowest notes of the G chord. I'm going to play G on string 6, fret 3, then string 5, 2, and then open. And if you look at the music, at the screen right now, you can see that I have that open. I'm going to close this music. I'm going to do it again. Hopefully you can get a little bit better view of my fingers. That is how you should start out practicing the first section. You should use the recording and play along with it. The best one is if you have a recording that's been slowed down and is tuned to standard tuning, that we could just play along with it right now. We do that if you come in for guitar lessons. We'll play along with that. But right now, because of the copyright laws of YouTube, I don't know this, but I've been told that if you play the actual recording and play along with it, that the algorithms of YouTube will automatically delete your video. So I don't want that to happen. There's a second part of the song, a Simple Man. So the part that I just was playing, the A section, it's where my mama told me when I was young, sit beside me, my only son. So that's the A part. So then there's the second part of the song, and I'm going to show you how to play it, how I would probably play it if we were playing a gig at a coffee house, or maybe if we were playing camping, because the whole band comes in pretty strong on the next section. I'm looking for the words. That's what I'm doing. That's the next part. That's the second riff. It comes in the chorus, and that's the part. See if I can find that. I'm gonna call that the. Oh, here it is. The chorus. That's the part when they say, "And be a simple kind of man." This part's not that hard if you have the guitar tablature. It does have a slide. And to prepare for the slide, look at what I'm going to go. A string open, first finger, second fret. And then I'm going to shift positions. I'm going to do first finger, third fret. The reason why I'm going to do this is I want the next note, which is string 5, fret 5, to fall under my third finger, because I need to do this slide on this string. Now, it's important that whenever you're doing these slides that you always want to look at where you want your finger to end. So if you notice, I'm going to go open, second fret. I'm staring right here at the third fret, I've moved my eyes up to the 5th fret. I get my third finger down. Then I look up here at the 7. Slide up there. I look back down. So I'm going to go G note. And if we were playing this at a coffee house, I'd probably do some power chords here. Something like that. Hopefully this is enough to get you started. I'll do another video and later, and I'll talk about the arpeggiated, the arpeggioed pattern, arpeggiated. An arpeggio is when you play the notes from the chord in alphabetical order. Arpeggiate is when you play individual notes from a chord. This uses arpeggiated.